Good day, everyone. Welcome to the study of culture, society, and politics. As you move forward in the discussions, you will begin to understand that your daily experiences are connected with the realities and phenomena that define our society. The events that have defined your lives up to their presence are a product of the processes and interaction within our society. Social, cultural, and political issues go beyond the news and classroom discussions. As you learn the concepts, theories, and views that shaped and defined how we view and examine the various aspects of Philippine culture, society, and politics, you will realize that these topics have been closely intertwined with our experiences. To study them is to take a closer and more meaningful look into our own lives and the larger forces that shape our community and nation. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to answer these following questions. First, why identity is important in relation to yourself, other people, and society. Second, how do social, cultural, and political change shape individual and group identities? Third, how can knowledge and understanding of identities help us interact effectively with others? And the first word to unlock is identity. So we have this activity A1, right? Wherein you are going to identify your identity and also let your parents or family members to identify your identity because sometimes we are unconscious of who we are. Mas nakailaman ang mga nag-observe niyo, especially if sila permi imuhang kauban. But I know as we go older, we are going to definitely know who we really are. Now, identity is the distinctive characteristic that defines an individual and is shaped by one's membership to a particular group. We may have multiple identities that depends on the groups to which we belong. Next is identity factors. These are sexual orientation, gender, and nationality. So sometimes confusing ning A o B, sexual and gender. When we say sexual orientation, it refers to the biological characteristics of humans such as duha jud no, male or female, while when we say gender, it refers to the socially constructed rules, behaviors, activities, and attributes that a given society considers appropriate for men and women. These gender categories are more varied, daghan ubay-ubay. We are familiar for sure sa LGBTQ, but naapod yun siya mas daghan nga category, no? These are QQIAP, and this stands for ing anak ka wide, no? But in this lesson, we will not be talking each category. So let's proceed to nationality. For sure, this term is familiar to us. It is the identity that is tied to being part of a nation or country, a group of people who share the same history, traditions, and language, and who inhabits a particular territory delineated by a political border and controlled by the governments. And our nationality is Filipino. Also, identity can change over the course of a person's lifetime. Nothing is constant man in this world. It continuously shaped and reshaped through the passage of time, including his activities within the society and interaction with other people because pain changes us, Charlang. Identities are important because they shape both individual and group behavior as well as people's views about other people and society. Why it's important to understand and respect them instead of criticizing or judging them because for sure we have different identities. Even our relatives or sisters, brothers, we have the same environment, still we have different identities. Lahi jud ta og hilig, no? Kung ang usa hilig og disco, ang usa kay dili jud pod. Also, it helps us to avoid conflict. Example, persons, those persons with disabilities, we usually know na, hopefully dili ta guilty nga we laugh at them, and we regarded them as weak and burden to society. However, most of them are still able to work if given the supportive environment and adequate opportunities. If there are enough support systems for them in terms of PWD friendly facilities and workplace, they can lead productive and meaningful lives. For us to understand and respect them, because for sure lahi-lahi man gyud ta og identity, even our siblings, parents, relatives, though we have the same environment, still we have different identity. Learning about oneself, culture, and society entails knowledge about various identities and how these shape people's views and behavior. Reflecting on this enables a person to appreciate what makes us different and similar from each other. And this can lead to have productive and meaningful lives. Let's proceed to society, as it refers to a group of people living in a community, and according to McIver and Page, it is the web of social relationships which is always changing. Next word is culture. It is society's way of life or the art of living. It provides the basis for forging identities. It allows people to understand themselves in relation to others and provides them a lens through which they base what is considered the right way of doing things. Example sa culture sa Pinoy or sa Pilipinas, kay, let's say, part gyud sa atong meal ang rice, pero sa other country wala gyud sila. McDonald's sa Japan, dili sila mo serve or wala, dili part sa menu ang rice. So culture na sa Pinoy, no? What else? If mag-grocery ta, sa Pilipinas, we have the bagger, no, na aji mo pack sa atong gipamalit, while sa Japan, Canada, Korea, more na akong familiar nga country wherein ang customer gyud or ang mupalit gyud ang mupak sa ilahang groceries. Now, what does this mean as culture as the basis to what is considered right or wrong? Example, Christian culture, dili gyud, no, we are not, a husband can't have more than one wife. Kung mga bit gani ka, matulfo ka or mo viral jud ka, for sure, right? So wrong siya. But if Muslim ka, since sa Muslim nga culture, it's okay to have, for the husband, it's okay, no, to have more than one wife, 3 to 4 ata na ilaha. Let's proceed to social, cultural, and political change. The concept of identity is related to social, cultural, and political change. People's individual and collective identities have oftentimes transformed social order and paved the way or opened the way for lasting change. Examples sa mga changes is the right to vote. In the year 1900s, this is the first time nga nag-election, no? And that time, women are not allowed to vote. However, when Filipino women became more educated, either in the Philippines or abroad, they were enlightened about their rights, particularly suffrage or the right to vote. So, in the year 1930, the framers of the 1935 Constitution allowed women to vote by virtue of law that was passed by the National Assembly. Another change in the technology, makahibaw rami sa mga sudden postponed classes sa nanami sa eskwelahan, pero karon una pa ang mga estudyante noon nga naka-post sa social media nga, ma'am, holiday karon. Also, we have trends in clothing. So, kinsa to yung mga K-popan, kay grabe ni boom ang mga K-pop, no? So, mangita sila, mag-scroll sila sa Shopee para lang mo-copy or imitate sa ilang mga K-pop idol. And we have here hairstyle, mga food choices, mo imitate or mo ma-influence kita sa atong mga idol, transnational families na i-changes sa ilahang culture since kung nana sila sa Canada ma-adapt pod nila no or ma-influence sila sa kung unsay culture, kumbaga mahaloan na ilahang culture, Filipino culture. Texting, social media karon na anay grabe na ka high tech. Anytime, anywhere, pwede na ka maka-communicate sa imuhang loved ones through social media. Local public services, our Filipino nurses are also known abroad because of their kindness and care for their patients, particularly the elderly, which is a reverse Filipino trait. So probably maka-influence sila sa mga nurse dito. And lastly, we have migration, no, changes of the culture of the immigrants and the immigrants because of lahi naman sad ilahang environment. So probably maka-adapt sila kung unsa may mga culture, kung asa silang country na belong. Next turn to unlock are anthropology, sociology, and political science. These are the academic disciplines under which identity, culture, society, and politics are being studied and are collectively called the social sciences. Anthropology is the study of culture. It is the systematic study of the biological, cultural, and social aspects of man. It is derived from the two Greek words, anthropos, which means man, and logos, which means study or inquiry. Anthropologists have diverse fields of study and areas of interest. One of them is social anthropology, studies how social patterns and practices and cultural variation develop across different societies, or how the culture evolves. Cultural anthropology studies cultural variation across different societies and examines the need to understand each culture in its own context. This study helps us deepen our understanding. Linguistic anthropology studies language and discourse and how they reflect and shape different aspects of human society and culture. And biological or physical anthropology studies the origins of humans as well as the interplay between social factors and the processes of human evolution, adaptation, and variation over time. Lastly, we have archaeology. It deals with prehistoric societies by studying their tools and environment. Moving on, we have sociology. It's the study of society or the study of human social life, groups, and society. Sociologists examine and present new insights and perspective on the different elements and aspects of society as a culture, gender, race and ethnicity, social movements, class and other forms of social stratification, crime and other organization and institutions. This academic discipline provide a deeper assessment of individual and group behavior. And lastly, we have political science. It is the systematic study of politics. It is described as the activity through which people make, preserve, and amend the general rules and under which they live. It focuses on the fundamental values of equal, freedom, and justice, and its processes are linked to the dynamics of conflict resolution and cooperation. Political scientists help us understand the nature and characteristics of authority and power distribution and how it shapes the way society is organized. So, katong mga mo ni ang field no for those pol-sci students katong mag-law, mo take og law or mag-abogado sila. We have fields of political science. So some political scientists specialized in public administration where they examines how the government functions and how decisions and policies are made. And the second one is political economy. It evaluates the interplay between economics, politics, and law and its implication to the various institution with society. So, focus siya sa economy in relation to other aspects. And lastly, comparative politics. It compares, no, from the word itself, comparative. It compares domestic politics to international or global politics. Though each of the social sciences focuses on a particular subject and adheres to specific perspectives, their views often overlap and complement one another for a better understanding of the world around us. And that ends our lesson for today.